The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026, and if you thought yesterday was a fever dream with the PFAS plastic soup and the Nancy Mace Records era, oh, buckle up, because today is giving full-on systemic collapse.
It's a busy one, Maya. It's a robust display of the American experiment, essentially deciding to conduct its own autopsy while the patient is still screaming.
No, literally. We've got a solid show today, high key. We're talking DHS fan fiction coming to life, the GOP's family values brand getting absolutely ratioed in Texas, and Minnesota basically suing the federal government for, checks notes, weaponizing healthcare.
And don't forget the actual, literal war on fraud being used as a pretext to starve states that don't vote the right way. I'm sitting here at the sanctuary. I'm looking at Mitch. He's my goat for the new listeners. And I'm thinking, Mitch, at least your forage isn't tied to a federal loyalty test.
Mitch is the only one with no cat vibes right now. Okay, but seriously, we have to start with the DHS situation because it is actually unhinged.
Is this the Kristi Noem testimony? I saw the clips.
Oh, it's so much worse than the clips, John. Secretary Kristi Noem went before the Senate Judiciary Committee on March 3rd, and it was a flop era of the ages.
Well, it was more than a flop. It was a documented evasion of reality.
Right? So ProPublica basically dropped a tactical nuke right before the hearing. Noem swore on oath, like, girl, the receipts are right there, that Corey Lindowski, her top aide/volunteer, had zero role in approving contracts.
A volunteer. I love that. He's just a concerned citizen who happens to have a desk at Homeland Security and a direct line to the president's ID.
But the internal records ProPublica found show Lewandowski was literally out here signing off on multi-million-dollar equipment contracts. Like, imagine being a volunteer and having the power to spend $140 million.
It's the privatization of the state, Maya. It's not a bug, it's a feature. We talked about this yesterday with the ICE surveillance tech. They are building an authoritarian stack where the person holding the pen isn't even on the payroll.
Exactly. And it gets even more mid. There's this $220 million taxpayer-funded immigration enforcement ad campaign. Senator John Kennedy, who Heike was actually grilling him, pointed out that $143 million subcontract went to the Strategy Group.
Which is? Wait. Let me guess.
Run by the husband of Noem's former spokesperson, Tricia McClellan.
Of course it is. It's a closed loop. It's an ecosystem of grift. They aren't even trying to hide the plumbing anymore. They're just showing you the pipes and saying, yeah, this is where your money goes to die.
It's giving shadow governance. Even Tom Tillis, a Republican, called her leadership a disaster. When you've lost the GOP guys in North Carolina, you are officially in your flop era.
Well, look, the thing is, if you don't have ethics, you don't have a department. You just have a very expensive, very armed personal security detail for the executive branch.
Low-key facts. But speaking of disasters, Maya, can we talk about Texas? Because I've been staring at these reports from the 23rd District, and it's haunting.
Oh, the Tony Gonzalez tea? It's high-key dark, John.
It's beyond tea. It's a tragedy. We're talking about Representative Tony Gonzalez. There are text messages from May 2024 that just surfaced. He was relentlessly pressing a staffer, Regina Santos Aviles, for sexy pics and late-night encounters. And the worst part, literally the most heartbreaking part, is that this staffer, Regina, died by suicide in September 2025. She set herself on fire in Uvalde.
It's gruesome. And her widower, Adrian Avalise, released these texts because Gonzalez was out there implying the evidence was fake. He's trying to gaslight a grieving husband while the House Ethics Committee is looking into sexual misconduct and special favors.
It's the hypocrisy for me. You've got the family values crowd, Thomas Massie, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, all calling for him to resign. Which, okay, bet he should. But coming from them, it's giving Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme.
Well, here's the thing, Maya. The GOP is eating itself. Gonzalez isn't just in trouble for the scandal. He's in trouble because he's not MAGA enough for the far right wing. They're using a genuine human tragedy as a lever to purge anyone who isn't 100% loyal to the brand.
No, literally. This isn't about ethics for Boebert. It's about a power grab. The party is a smoking crater right now. It's a villain arc within a villain arc.
It's a national edging session where the only thing that finishes is our dignity.
Maya, John, stop.
Sorry, I can't. It's what it is. We're watching the structural instability of a major political party play out in real time. And while they're busy with that, the actual governance, the stuff that affects people's lives, is being used as a hostage.
Speaking of governance, we have to talk about the Texas primary results from 2 days ago. It was a whole vibe shift.
The March 3rd results. Okay, lead the way. I was too busy watching the North Carolina Senate updates yesterday to dive into the Texas weeds.
Okay, so remember how I was high-key standing Jasmine?
I do. You said she had main character energy.
She does. But she lost the U.S. Senate nomination to State Rep James Tallarico.
Tallarico. He's the one doing the faith-based populism thing?
Yeah, he's like progressive policies, but with a vibe that doesn't scare your grandma in the suburbs. It's very persuadable voter chic. I called it mid last week, but honestly, looking at the numbers, the Latino turnout in Democratic hubs surged to 13%.
That's significant, especially since the narrative in 2024 was that the GOP was permanently capturing the Latino vote.
Total cap. In the 34th district, Democratic turnout was nearly double the Republicans. And, this is the viral clip, Rep. Dan Crenshaw actually lost his seat.
What? Ironhead?
Dead ass. He's the first House incumbent to fall this cycle. He got taken out from the right by Steve Toth.
So the purge is real. The moderates, or even the insufficiently extreme, are getting the boot. It's like a circular firing squad, but everyone is using high-capacity magazines.
It's giving Red Wedding. But for real, the youth-led fundraising is breaking records. Gen Z is out here carrying the bag for the Dems, while the GOP is fighting over text messages.
Well, they're going to need that energy because the federal government is currently trying to starve the states. Maya, did you see the Minnesota lawsuit?
Minnesota v. Oz?
Exactly. Dr. Mehmet Oz, who is now, God help us, the CMS administrator and Vice President J.D. Vance, they've launched this war on fraud.
It's giving Hunger Games.
It's literally withholding $243 million in Medicaid funds from Minnesota. Governor Walz and Keith Ellison are suing because they say it's political punishment for being a blue state.
Wait, is their fraud rate even high?
No, that's the kicker. According to the lawsuit, Minnesota's fraud rate is well below the national average. They're essentially seizing the money first and holding the evidentiary hearing? Well, never.
It's the Fifth Amendment era. Due process? Never heard of her.
It's weaponizing the social safety net. If you can't win the state, you just bankrupt their hospitals. It's the same thing we saw yesterday with the public defender crisis. If you break the system, you can claim the system doesn't work and replace it with what?
Private equity? NPC energy?
Probably both.
Okay, we have to take a second here. Look, independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It's not an algorithm. It's not a corporate bot. It takes real human work to build this infrastructure.
It really does. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He's not some media conglomerate sitting in a glass tower. He's a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations without a filter.
No, literally. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms that want to sell you loyalty tests, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media.
It's an act of solidarity, folks. It keeps the lights on and the servers running, and it keeps Mitch in high-quality clover. Support the work.
Bet. Okay, John, we need to pivot to the global stage for a second because things are getting high-key spicy in the Arctic.
Oh, the NORAD scramble?
Yeah, NORAD just intercepted 2 Russian T-142 aircraft near Alaska and Canada.
Look, the T-142 is a maritime patrol plane, but it's based on a nuclear bomber airframe. It's a flying Cold War relic.
It's giving 1984 vibes. But it's not just Russia. China just solidified their new productive forces strategy. They met their 5% GDP target, and now they're pivoting to high-tech manufacturing, EVs, semiconductors, the works.
And the ports, Maya. Don't forget the ports. They now have stakes in 129 ports worldwide.
129? That's high-key a lot.
They have majority control in 17 strategic terminals. They just operationalized the Chongqing megaport in Peru. It's a $3.5 billion project. It allows them to bypass North American trade hubs entirely.
So they're basically just like playing SimCity in real life and winning?
They're building logistics leverage. If you control the port scheduling, you control the world's supply chain. While we're arguing about whether a congressman sent sexy pics, Beijing is building a web of infrastructure that makes Western sanctions basically irrelevant.
It's a flop era for American soft power. No cap.
But wait, there's a plot twist in the trade war. A federal judge, the Court of International Trade, just ordered the Trump administration to begin refunding billions of unlawful tariffs.
Refund? Like a cashback era?
Sort of. The Supreme Court overturned some of these tariffs, and now the administration might have to cough up billions of dollars. It's a massive reversal. It shows that even this court system, as broken as it is, still has some circuit breakers left.
Okay, but we have to get to the main story. The immigration situation is actually hitting a boiling point. It's the Operation Metro Surge era.
This is the one that's been keeping me up, Maya. The Department of Homeland Security is in a partial shutdown since mid-February because the House won't fund it without oversight. But how somehow ICE is more active than ever?
That's because of the One Big Beautiful Act from last year. It gave them a $10 billion infusion that bypasses the shutdown.
And they're using it. Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, is currently occupied by over 3,000 federal agents. Operation Metro Surge. That's 5 times larger than the local police department.
It's giving military occupation. And then the Austin shooting happened on March 1st.
Right. A shooter at a bar, 3 dead, 14 injured. The suspect is a naturalized citizen from Senegal. He's been a citizen for 13 years, Maya. 13 years.
But that didn't stop 70 Texas House Republicans from petitioning Congress to, wait for it, freeze all immigration immediately.
Including H-1B high-skill visas. They are using the actions of a citizen, a man who has been a part of this country for over a decade, to justify a total shutdown of the legal immigration system.
It's a national security nightmare, according to Rep. Cole Hefner. It's so high-key xenophobic, it's actually painful.
It's the authoritarian stack in action. You use a single tragedy to justify a systemic removal of rights. And Kristi Noem, back to our first story, defended warrantless cell phone tracking and encrypted message spyware as necessary for these soldiers during her testimony.
No, literally, they're treating the Fourth Amendment like a suggestion.
It's biological control. You control where people can move, who they can talk to, and whether they can even enter the country based on a totalizing surveillance state. And meanwhile, we have actual public health breakthroughs that are being ignored or defunded.
You mean that Ozempic for addiction study?
Yes, the British medical journal, BMJ, just released this massive study of 600,000 U.S. veterans. GLP-1 drugs, Ozempic, Mounjaro, reduce opioid overdose risk by 40%.
That's actually insane. Like, actually huge.
It's 50% lower risk of death. We have a tool that could effectively end the overdose crisis. But remember the Medicaid cuts we talked about? The ones Mem and Oz is pushing in Minnesota?
They're gonna restrict access to the meds.
Exactly. We're moving towards a great American recovery initiative that reframes addiction as a brain disease, which is great, but we're cutting the funding for the very drugs that treat it. It's the ultimate legislative constipation.
It's giving, we solved it, but you can't have it.
It's cruel, Maya. It's just cruel. And don't even get me started on the housing first model being abandoned. We're moving towards a system where if you don't have a job and a clean drug test, you don't get a roof. Even though we know you can't get clean if you're sleeping in an alley.
Okay, this news day is high-key a lot.
It is. It's a lot of friction, Maya. A lot of people in power trying to see how much they can get away with before the system snaps.
But the Texas primary shows people are actually showing up. 13% Latino turnout in a primary? That's not mid. That's a signal.
It's a heartbeat. maybe the patient isn't dead yet.
We love a hopeful hermit.
Hey, I have to be hopeful. If I give up, Mitch wins, and then he's the one running the podcast.
Honestly, Mitch has main character energy. I'd subscribe to his Patreon.
God, don't give him ideas. He already thinks he's the Secretary of Agriculture.
Okay, that's the show for today. We covered the Noem-Lewandowski grift era, the Tony Gonzalez scandal, L-take for the GOP, the Texas earthquake, and the terrifying rise of Operation Metro Surge.
Stay informed, folks. Don't let the war on fraud become a war on you.
Bet, no cap. We'll be back tomorrow to see what else is crumbling.
I'll be here. Mitch will be here. Stop yelling at the internet. Sarah's yelling at me now. Look, the budget rules clearly state Section 402, subparagraph B. It's right there.
High-key embarrassing.